What up, Raffleaders? Welcome back to my channel. We're back here at Eckles interchange, the Eckles interchange, and I want to show you what has happened since the last time we were here. We're heading actually towards the entrance to the new bridge at Heroes Highway and the access road to the new bridge where they're building that roundabout. And I thought I'd give you a look at what is happening out here on Heroes Highway. Right now we're at the interchange, the Eckles interchange. Behind me, that is the famous reflecting pond with the jaguar in the middle. I just came from looking at developments along Heroes Highway. Behind me, that's looking north towards Georgetown and what I call Warehouse Central. And of course, in the opposite direction towards the airport and towards Demerara, they've actually built the highway. They've extended the highway another 5 or so miles past Diamond, and we're going to look at that stretch of highway in a future video. But right now, let's go take a look at what's happening at the roundabout, the entrance to the new Demerara River Bridge. So let's go. So guys, this is the Eckles interchange. It's a Thursday morning. As you can see, traffic backed up now for at least a mile or so along Heroes Highway South as they negotiate this interchange. And that's looking north. And you can see there's a long line of traffic heading into Georgetown. It's still early in the morning, about 7 a.m. So that's the traffic heading into Georgetown in the morning. And it's approaching rush hour, 8 a.m. And we're gonna see back up here for at least a mile or two into the city. That road leads east towards Ogle, the new interchange, the guy saying hi there on a truck heading to work. That is also totally guy. It's the sort of thing you see in Philippines and some other Asian countries. I used to think of it as a road hazard. It's way people to show that they have no value for life, but that's the way they do things down here. No seatbelt rules apply. But yes, guys, we're heading out. We're heading out now to the roundabout, the new roundabout that's being built, and we're going to see what happened since the last time we were here. So let's take a look at it. So guys, we're back on Heroes Highway at the entrance to the new Demerara River Bridge access road. And this is where they're building that roundabout. So I've gone on record as saying, let me state again, that building a roundabout at the entrance to the Demerara River Bridge is a bad idea. Right? Building a roundabout at the entrance to Demerara Bridge is a bad idea. One of those reasons why it's a bad idea is because of traffic. And I think I've explained that in several videos. But today what I want to do is to draw your attention to something else that I said. In the beginning, it was not clear that what they were going to build. I was arguing that they should build an overpass and a typical entrance ramp, right? Similar to the cloverleaf entrance and exit ramps at various highways and interchanges in North America. But I said that you will know that they're building a roundabout when they destroy the median, that is this path that I'm walking on. So we know that they're building a roundabout. We'll know for sure that they're building a roundabout when they tear up this interchange and they start building the center island. The roundabout is at the center of the roundabout is an island, And that is what they're doing right now. They have now built the extension to the sides, on the sides of the highway approaching the roundabout here, so that they can divert traffic around it. And now they have torn up the center, the median, right, the center divide of this highway. They've torn that up, and they're now starting to build the island, a circular island in the center of the highway. And that's how we are certain there is no turning back now. This is going to be a roundabout. Now, I'm not going to continue to discuss all the implications of having a roundabout at this point, but I'll show you what has happened since the last time you're here. We're here about 2 weeks ago, and before the election day, that is. September 1st was election day. Today is September 11th. Condolences to my American viewers who are commemorating terrorist acts of September 11, 2001. But here in Guyana on September 11, what they're building is a roundabout at the entrance to the new Demerara Bridge. So what they're doing, they've torn up the center divide and they're laying blocks of concrete. Right, they're laying blocks of concrete. They've laid a few of them already that will allow traffic to go around the center, and the concrete, of course, will bring the road up to the level, the median up to the road up to the level of the median. So that is what they've achieved so far. Now this is what the entrance to the new bridge looks like on September 11, 2025. Since the last time we've come here, they've put in these street lights along the center, and you can see way in the distance, that's the bridge. The bridge has been completed in the sense that it's continuous, of course. They still need to do some finishing touches. And this is the island in the center of the new roundabout. So they're building a roundabout here without question. And this is the island at the center. So you walk around this island, I'll show you in scale and size what it looks like. So they tore up the median, right? That's the median. And they built up the road surface to the level of the median. That's what this is, by laying down slabs of concrete. And then they created this circular road around this new roundabout. So this is the new roundabout that's being built here. There is what appears to be a pedestrian walkway around this roundabout that's being constructed. Here is basically a shoulder or lip of the road. And this is what it looks like from the east side. All right, this is remember there was a culvert. We're now standing over that culvert. That's the culvert. This is the traffic coming from north. And this is the new roundabout. All right, this is the new roundabout here at Heroes Highway and the entrance to the new Demerara River Bridge. So as I said, they're laying down slabs of concrete. These are the concrete slabs that they're laying down. So they're making progress. It seems to me to be about maybe 50% complete, well more than 50% complete. And I guess in a few days, certainly in a week or so, this will be completed. So this is what the roundabout looks like here at Heroes Highway. I'm going to give you a little glimpse of the actual access road itself. Right, that's the access road to the new bridge. We'll take a walk along it. I think if it's open, take a little closer look at it. But this is what the layout will be in a few weeks when it's open. It remains to be seen how efficient this interchange will work because, like I said, this interchange is going to now meet or merge traffic from the highway. Right, that is the bridge traffic. Right, bridge traffic coming from the west coast. That in the distance, 2 miles away, that is the bridge to the west coast. And this intersection marks the point at which bridge traffic merges. Right, this is where bridge traffic merges with the new the highway. See, there is in the distance the new Demerara Bridge. I don't know if you can see it there in the distance. That's 2 miles away. So bridge traffic from 2 miles away will eventually merge here. Traffic entering the bridge will exit. The traffic entering the bridge will exit here. So we'll exit Heroes Highway at the traffic circle to enter the left side of the access road. So in Guyana, we drive like the British on the left-hand side of the road. And traffic coming off the bridge will eventually merge with traffic heading into Georgetown. What's that? So traffic heading off the bridge will either merge with this traffic heading into Georgetown, or will cross the traffic to go around the roundabout, right? This is the roundabout, and then join the traffic heading in the opposite direction towards Temeri and points south, Linden and so on. So the problem here is that you're gonna have to interrupt this traffic, this flow of traffic north, to be able to cross over it. To be able to cross over this traffic and head in the southerly direction, you're going to have to interrupt the stream of traffic. And so far, unless you put traffic lights, you're going to have to stage a traffic policeman to direct traffic at this intersection. And that, I think, is the point about the inefficiency of this solution. With an overpass, so that's the bridge in the distance, 2 miles away. And the road seems to be completed. They now have road markings. They've put in the guardrails. All the guardrails have been installed. They also have reflective markers, at least on one side. I guess some work remains to be done on the other side. All right, so there are reflective markers on the guardrails on one side. Some work needs to be done on the other side. And so traffic coming off the bridge in the distance will have to drive 2 miles, 2 miles west or east to get to this intersection. But in order to merge, only traffic heading into Georgetown will merge, right? Traffic heading into Georgetown will merge, but traffic heading south, it says yield. So you're going to end up waiting at this intersection, right? As the sign says, it's a yield sign there. If you are waiting to cross over the intersection, especially at rush hour, you're going to wait a long time for this traffic to pass so that you can cross over this traffic flow to get to the southbound lanes, right? The southbound lanes take you towards Diamond and Park South. And what's going to happen eventually is you're going to have a long line of traffic backed up in this lane. A long line of traffic backed up in this lane, waiting to turn left. In other words, to cross over the traffic flow and head south. Now, if you had an overpass, for those of you who still don't understand the logic of an overpass, if you have an overpass, there will be no waiting because traffic heading north-south on Heroes Highway would continue to flow unobstructed. The traffic coming off the bridge would either merge using a entrance ramp or will cross over above, that's what the overpass is for, cross over above Heroes Highway to the other side, to the south side, and then eventually merge with traffic heading south. And that's a solution that still has to be implemented regardless of what's being done now, because the problem of traffic flow and traffic congestion will persist until that problem is solved. Now we're heading west along this access road towards the bridge. You can see the bridge in the distance. That's the direction in which we're headed. But I want to get to the intersection with that road that runs beside Windsor Estates. And I wanted to see what solution they implemented. Because as some people pointed out, they're not building an overpass at that intersection. It's going to be an intersection, but will they allow traffic to flow north-south along that road? Apparently not. So it seems as if they're connecting these side streets to this access road, but does that constitute another way, right, to get onto the bridge? In other words, once they've connected this cross street to the access road, then instead of going to the roundabout, traffic will simply use these local side streets to get onto this access road. And this is another local street being connected to the access road. Again, if you're heading to Georgetown, instead of going all the way out to Heroes Highway, you could simply take a left here, turn off into the local neighborhood, and then find another way. Morning! And then find another way to get onto the highway, Heroes Highway. So this is what is happening here in the local neighborhood. We're now in Providence. This road, this access road to the bridge passes through Providence, local neighborhoods in Providence. This new multi-unit condominium is inside of the Windsor Estates compound. So Windsor Estates have started building multi-unit housing, I think in the past year and a half or so. And apparently they've completed this building. Don't know if it's occupied as yet. But they started building multi-unit housing, multi-unit either rentals or condominiums in Windsor Estates, as you can see in the distance. A new one under construction. And So what happens is that all of this real estate now runs beside a very noisy highway. This is going to be 24/7 noisy. And of course, it's free. The bridge traffic to cross over the Demerara Bridge is going to be toll free. That basically increases the volume of traffic because people will make unnecessary trips because, of course, it's free. You don't have to pay a toll. So why not make an extra trip over the bridge to pick up something instead of minimizing your trips, consolidating your errands. Now, because it's free, people are going to be making multiple trips across this bridge, adding to the traffic on this highway, this access road, and increasing noise pollution, air pollution, and other pollution in this neighborhood, which is in fact supposed to be a rather upscale neighborhood. In other words, this was, when it was envisioned, one of the more expensive neighborhoods, Windsor Estates and the surrounding communities, more expensive neighborhoods to live in. But now you have a major road running through those neighborhoods, and it will affect the value and the quality of life. But we're getting to that intersection where I'm headed. I want to see what the solution was. What did they come up with? Whether they would make it possible for traffic to cross over this access road. It seems as if they did connect, right? So in the distance there you can see that's the intersection. All right, that's the intersection. They've put a sign there, a road sign there. So they've connected that intersection to this access road. I've actually walked from the intersection. I've walked at least a quarter, approaching half a mile. So the intersection at Heroes Highway is about a quarter to a half of a mile, 3/8 of a mile away from where we are now. And the remainder of the distance to the bridge is about a mile and a quarter. So in the distance, that's about a mile and a quarter. And the solution we're looking at is here. What do they do about this road that runs beside Windsor Estates? As you can see, Windsor Estates is building multi-unit condominium housing right at this intersection, which is going to be, of course, right up to the road here. And like I said, you're going to get noise pollution, air pollution, dust pollution, because what happens if you live close to a road like this, if you leave the windows open, dust settles on your furniture and on the walls and on every surface in the building. I know that because I live close to a road in the city of Georgetown, and there's no battling that dust. You have to keep the windows closed and air condition your rooms, or you have to be dusting every day. So this is the solution that they came up with at this intersection. It seems, like I predicted before, that this will be another way to get onto the bridge. So out there is Red Road, right? We've walked along this road before. Out there is Red Road. These buildings is a sheriff homes, and this road that runs beside Sheriff Homes on the south side of the access road is now connected to the access road, but you can't cross over. There's no way for you to cross over to the other side. That's looking north towards Windsor Estates. So this road runs besides Windsor Estates. All right, this is the new multi-unit housing that they've constructed at this intersection. That's looking back towards Heroes Highway, about half a mile away in the distance. Right, about half a mile away in that distance, in that direction. That's where the roundabout is, the entrance. And this, as you can see, is the access road. Now you can't cross over the access road. There's a center divide, You can see, of course, that hasn't stopped some vehicles. You're gonna have the people with the SUVs who decide that, look, I'm gonna go where I wanna go. And that is some tire marks from vehicle climbing over that median. Now, in other developed countries, this median would be a waist height, right? That yellow median would be a waist height jersey barrier, waist high jersey barrier. And that actually is done for safety. They still need to do that in Guyana. They've done it on the East Bank Public Road. They need to extend those jersey barriers everywhere because it prevents head-on collisions. So apparently bridge traffic coming off of the access road can actually turn into this road besides Windsor Estates. So you're going to have traffic turning off of the road behind Windsor Estates and now heading towards, that would be the Eckles to Baggotsville. Or Bagotstown. Eckles to Bagotstown interchange. So that's another way to get off of this access road, not having to go all the way to Heroes Highway. It'll be interesting to see how much traffic actually uses. But what that means is that bridge traffic is now going to pile onto this, right? Bridge traffic is now going to pile onto this highway. And you will eventually get traffic congestion on the new road. But that's it, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. So guys, that's what's happening in this neck of the woods. We've done the walk along Heroes Highway. We've done the walk along this access road behind me towards the bridge. And I've shown you the intersection now. That's the intersection between the road that runs besides Windsor Estates and the new access road. As you can see, you can't cross over that road. You can't cross over the access road. But it creates another exit for traffic. So traffic coming off the bridge, that's traffic behind me. Coming off the bridge will be able to turn left onto the road behind me. That is the access road running besides Windsor Estates. And traffic coming from Red Road, now behind me, will be able to join traffic heading onto the bridge. That is what I was wondering, what would happen to this intersection. Now we know. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in the fastest growing country in the world. We'll be back to see what happens when traffic starts flowing and this bridge is officially open. And we'll be able to analyze traffic patterns in future. But share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world. Later!